Hello, KZOOMers.
Hey, everybody. We missed you last week.
Missed you. So I compose a moda ani. I'm just like, and I need to kind of concentrate on how does this go, because I'm just making it up. And then all of you come on, and I'm just so excited to see you that I forget what I'm even doing. So
That's nice. That's nice that you're so excited to see everybody. Yeah.
Anyway, it takes a little bit of more focus, and I'm like, oh, hi, hi. And so this is really a special time, and this time that is, last week I wasn't here because I was teaching my first in-person retreat, and there's a couple people here in squares here who were in my pod of retreat.
There's Julie.
and David.
And David,
too.
oh yeah.
So we're in my, we called it our psychedelic pod. Not that we were doing psychedelics, but we were in a psychedelic pod because we were in a very altered space. Because this time of year, we were entering into Shabbat Chazon, which is the Shabbat of vision. So going to the place of vision, of asking for a vision in preparation for this deepest, darkest, most difficult, traumatic moment of the year, which is called Tisha B'Av, where we, sort of pile on everything, all the traumas of centuries into that. So that time of Tisha B'Av culminates in what the Midrash tells us from the Isaac Luria, the holy Ari, tells us that the Mashiach is born in the ashes of that desecrated temple. That on the afternoon of Tisha B'Av, when the fires are still burning, the Messiah is born. And what I understand that is that messianic consciousness is born within us when we can see the light at the center of our own darkness, when we can enter through that light without ignoring any of the difficulties of our lives, but just finding the light at the center of it and entering through that place. And so that's where we have been, and these days following Tisha B'Av, we watch the moon get brighter and brighter until we come to B'Av, the time of the full moon, the holiday of love and of dance. It is the holiday of dance. So the practice that I've been doing, from our love at the center, is to be able to. What are you doing? What are you doing? Is to be able to see the dance, to understand the dance, to see life as a dance, to say to it all, to say, oh, it's all a dance, and that attitude, that
It's
perception
yes.
changes. It changes everything. It changes everything. So that's been my practice, and even walking through the airport and being in the Salt Lake City airport on my way to Minneapolis, just looking at everyone doing their dance. It was a masked dance, of course. But everyone is doing their dance, and sometimes we do it consciously and sometimes not. But every once in a while I'll wake up and I'll see that it is a dance. And I've been sort of trying to understand, well, what makes it a dance? What makes it a dance?
Mm-hmm.
And this afternoon I called up my dear friend Rabbi Diane Elliott, and I said, what makes it a dance, Diane? What makes it a dance? And she, she reminded me that when our movement through the world is conscious rather than habit, then suddenly it becomes a dance. When we're on automatic, we don't even notice the dance. And then when we do notice the dance, the challenge is can we join? Can we join the dance? Can we dive into it? Alan Watts says that the only way to make sense out of change is to plunge into it, move with it, and join the dance. We spend a lot of our times resisting change, and what happens is a kind of rigidity sets in, and rather than joining the dance, we are resisting it. Amit Ray says that life is a dance, and mindfulness is witnessing that dance. It's coming into a perception of the dance, and I think it's like stepping back, being able to see the beauty of it. So our first chant is one of the dance, and it is the dance of turning and returning. And as we step into this 7-week journey to Rosh Hashanah, we are doing the dance of tshuva, of turning, of returning, of being turned. And these words, they say, turn and return, O Shulamit. And when we say, O Shulamit, we are being addressed and called out. The part of us which is Shulamit is the part that is already perfected, that has already joined the dance. The word that shalomot, that wholeness, that place of wholeness, is already in the dance, is in an awareness of process. So we say Shuvi haShulamit, Shuvi, turn and return, like lose that rigidity, open up to the rhythm of remembering and forgetting and remembering again. Open up to the rhythm of finding and losing and finding again. That's where we live. That's the human story. So, and can we stand back and appreciate the whole of the dance, even the parts that are scary. So, and then we say, turn and return it so that we can gaze upon you, so that we can know that the beauty of this dance. And even if that beauty breaks our hearts, we want to be able to see it, to take it in, and hopefully to join in the dance. So I invite you into that perception of reality, to be able to say, oh, it's all a dance. Shuvi, 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 haShulamit. Shuvi, 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 hamazeg. Shuvi, Shuvi, haShulamit. Shuvi, haShulamit. Shuvi, 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 va-asai. Shuvi, Shuvi, haShulamit. Shuvi, Shuvi, va-asai. Shuvi, Shuvi, haShulamit. Shuvi, Shuvi, va-asai. Shuvi, 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 haShulamit. Shuvi, 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 va-asai. Shuvi, Shuvi, haShulamit. Shuvi, Shuvi, va-asai. Shuvi, Shuvi, haShulamit. Shuvi, Shuvi, va-asai. Shuvi, 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 haShulamit. Shuvi, 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 va-asai. Shuvi, Shuvi, haShulamit. Shuvi, Shuvi, va-asai. Shuvi, Shuvi, haShulamit. Shuvi, Shuvi, va-asai. Shuvi, 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 haShulamit. Shuvi, 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 va-asai. Shuvi, Shuvi, haShulamit. Shuvi, Shuvi, va-asai. Shuvi, Shuvi, haShulamit. Shuvi, Shuvi, va-asai. Shuvi, 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 haShulamit. Shuvi, 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 va-asai. Shuvi, Shuvi, haShulamit. Shuvi, Shuvi, va-asai. to just go inward and get a sense of the movement within. Important thing of knowing that you're not stuck. There is a movement inside you, spiraling inward and opening outward. A process, a dance that you're in. It occurred to me that the name Yisrael, the name of the people Israel, it's often understood as those who wrestle with God. But I want to just say that wrestling can become a dance. So there's, to take the kind of the violence out of it, and bring in the grace. And how do we turn that wrestle into a dance? How do we know ourselves as dancing with what is, with reality, responding to, opening to, yielding to, leading, following, all at once. And to know ourselves in process is, to me, the most hopeful thing. It's like, it's like wherever I am on my way. Right? And there's something, always beginning inside me, that with my attention on that place of beginning calls it forth. So this turning, this is, we're entering this season of tshuva, of turning, and we are turning towards love. We are turning towards blessing, towards goodness, towards what gives us energy, what charges us up. And sometimes the getting unstuck is not just about turning towards something, but noticing the old places of habit or pattern that get us stuck, and turning away from that, turning away from what drains us of energy. And often it's a moment-to-moment process of watching the way the mind works, where it takes us. And I love the sense of freedom when my mind starts to go someplace, and I can say, no, not going there.
Mm-hmm.
Not going there. I'm not a slave to the workings of my mind. I can say thank you, but no thank you. I'm turning in a different way, because I actually know where that one takes me. That's I've been there before. And so it's sort of saying, how do I turn towards what's next, rather than where I've been already. So this practice that I want to do, that I call turning, is one of those practices that in preparing for High Holy Days, I came upon this phrase and I thought, this is it. Mm-hmm. This is all I need. I don't need the whole yechsar, all those words. This is it. This tells me the whole story. Turn away from ra, that which is gonna drain me of energy, gonna keep me disconnected, keep me separate. Turn away from that, and va-asai, like bring my energy to what I know is life-giving. And then my journey is about seeking peace and wholeness. And I find that there's sometimes I need to take a journey of healing inside me in order to come to that wholeness. And you know what gives me a clue is like when I get triggered. When I get triggered, it's like, oh, I need to go after that. There's something there that is actually the impediment to my wholeness. And so with the heart, the eyes of my heart wide open, I want to seek that wholeness. And sometimes it means like Rachmil always calls it getting a bead on it. Getting a bead on it,
go after it.
Yeah,
You gotta go after it.
Go after it.
Defuse that. Call a bomb squad. Defuse it.
Call the
Quickly.
bomb squad.
Right.
So as we enter into this season of tshuva, what I'll ask you to do is to lay on the altar of the chants, some place in you that gets triggered. Right now, from myself, I'll just share that I'm wrestling with my relationships with people who are not vaccinated, and it's a complicated issue, and
see some heads shaking.
Yeah, and how I relate to them, what our conversation is, what it's not, how I cut myself off, how I open. It's like an added complication, but I know there must be something under it that of why I'm so triggered. And so I will lay that issue kind of on the altar of the chant, and and make a commitment. That I guess this chant has kind of a threefold commitment. The first part of it is when I know that I'm caught, I want to gently turn away from this kind of place of enslavement. Surmera. And then my commitment is to bring kindness, compassion, connection into the world, however I can do it. Beauty, play, openness, whatever I can do, I'm gonna do that of goodness, bring the energy there. And then I want to try to understand why do I get caught? Bakeysh, I want to make a commitment to my wholeness, and wherever there's reactivity in me, something has gone somehow. I don't know what to say.
It's like bypassed the defenses and gotten underneath. Or
something has happened.
Like
Something's going on in there. That's a mystery. That's something that needs my attention. I want to go after it, so that I don't get caught. So I can stay in an open-hearted place in this world. So.
Because you can handle challenges much better from an open-hearted,
right,
calm, relaxed place than being
you
triggered.
Would think.
You would think. Yeah,
you would think.
Handled it even better.
So here's this threefold commitment to turn away from what is not working, to turn towards all of this, bringing our energy to goodness, and then making a commitment to go after the source of those triggers. So sometimes when I do this chant, I do it like a dance, and then I turn my head to the left, and then when I say, do you want to shoot on this one? Someira, And then when I say asay tov, it's like, like just like that. Va-asai tov, sumeira, 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 va-asai tov. And now I'm seeking that wholeness. Bakeysh shalom v-rad-fayhu. I'm seeking that wholeness in the world, and I'm seeking it in myself. Bakeysh shalom v-rad-fayhu. Bakeysh shalom v-rad-fayhu. Bakeysh shalom v-rad-fayhu. Surmeira, 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 va-asai tov. Surmeira, 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 va-asai tov. Bakeysh shalom v-rad-fayhu. Bakeysh shalom v-rad-fayhu. Bakeysh shalom v-rad-fayhu. Bakeysh shalom v-rad-fayhu. Surmeira, 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 va-asai tov. Surmeira, 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 va-asai tov. Bakeysh shalom v-rad-fayhu. Bakeysh shalom v-rad-fayhu. Bakeysh shalom v-rad-fayhu. Bakeysh shalom v-rad-fayhu. Surmeira, 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 va-asai tov. Surmeira, 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 va-asai tov. Bakeysh shalom v-rad-fayhu. Bakeysh shalom v-rad-fayhu. Bakeysh shalom v-rad-fayhu. Bakeysh shalom v-rad-fayhu. Surmeira, 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 va-asai tov. Surmeira, 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 va-asai tov. Bakeysh shalom v-rad-fayhu. Bakeysh shalom v-rad-fayhu. Bakeysh shalom v-rad-fayhu. Bakeysh shalom v-rad-fayhu. Surmeira, 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 va-asai tov. Surmeira, 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 va-asai tov. Bakeysh shalom v-rad-fayhu. Bakeysh shalom v-rad-fayhu.
shalom, v-rad-fayhu. Bakeysh shalom, v-rad-fayhu.
So do it one more time and find your commitment to the work.
Surmeira, va-asai Surmeira, va-asai Bakeysh shalom, v-rad-fayhu. Bakeysh shalom, v-rad-fayhu. Bakeysh shalom, v-rad-fayhu. Bakeysh shalom, v-rad-fayhu.
So the Song of Songs says, your navel is the moon's goblet, ever filled with wine. And
Wow. That's
it's
sensuous.
It's very sensuous. But the navel is also this place that is the imprint of our umbilical cord, the place where we are connected to Source. And to fill that place with hamazeg, with wine, and the wine is mixed wine. The wine is beauty and nourishment at once. The wine is nourishment and pleasure, and so that's what we want. We want to fill that place of connection with that wine. And it seems to me it's like it's really part of this dance to see that moonlight, shining in the place of our belly. There is this way of seeing that. There's a little reading from Tagore, who says the same stream of life, and I think that's what we're talking about, that place of the navel. In Native American lore, we call it the sipapu, the place of connection to Source. The same stream of life that runs through my veins night and day, runs through the world and dances in rhythmic measures. It is the same life that shoots in joy through the dust of the earth in numberless blades of grass and breaks into tumultuous waves of leaves and flowers. So it's a kind of a way of seeing that, this is not a static world we're in. It is, it is a constant movement, and the movement is from Source into us and back to Source again. That's the dance that we are doing. So it feels like this practice of the moon's goblet is to join the dance, to be part of this kind of movement that is running through the world. It's like we're not separate from it. We are the instruments of that movement, and we Did Ellen just make a sign of yes?
Yeah.
Yes.
Right on, sister. Right on, sister.
Yes. And I often call God the great choreographer, because it's sort of like I couldn't have imagined this dance, and even I think of the dance that brought us together, the dance that brings us together, is kind of amazing. And so I wanna be able to glory in it, to open, to focus my attention on the place of connection inside me, that imprint of the umbilical cord to the Great Mother, to Source, and to be able to fill that with wine, and for some of us, it's such a wonderful contradiction to love our bellies too.
It moves a lot. What is that? Oh, it makes a big goblet. It makes a big goblet. That's it.
The moon's goblet. And so let's see if we can bring these words to life as the place in us that is ever flowing, ever filled with life force and beauty. And I made a little mistake on some of the handouts that you got. So it's Sha'r'raych. The first letter is a shin. Sha'r'raych. Sha'r'raych. Agan, hasahar, yechsar, hamazeg, yechsar, hamazeg. Sha'r'raych. Agan, hasahar, yechsar, hamazeg, yechsar, hamazeg. Sha'r'raych. Agan, hasahar, yechsar, hamazeg. Sha'r'raych. Agan, hasahar, yechsar, hamazeg, yechsar, hamazeg. Sha'r'raych. Agan, hasahar, yechsar, hamazeg, yechsar, hamazeg. Sha'r'raych. Agan, hasahar, yechsar, hamazeg. Sha'r'raych. Sha'r'raych. Agan, hasahar, yechsar, hamazeg, yechsar, hamazeg.
Sha'r'raych.
Sha'r'raych. Agan, hasahar, yechsar, hamazeg, yechsar, hamazeg. Sha'r'raych. Agan, hasahar, yechsar, hamazeg. Sha'r'raych. Sha'r'raych. Agan, hasahar, yechsar, hamazeg, yechsar, hamazeg.
Sha'r'raych.
Sha'r'raych. Agan, hasahar, yechsar, hamazeg, yechsar, hamazeg. Sha'r'raych. Agan, hasahar, yechsar, hamazeg.
Sha'r'raych.
Sha'r'raych.
Agan,
hasahar, yechsar, hamazeg, yechsar, hamazeg.
Sha'r'raych.
Sha'r'raych.
Agan,
Agan, hasahar, yechsar hamazeg, yechsar hamazeg.
Sha'r'raych agan hasahar, yechsar hamazeg. Sha'r'raych agan hasahar, yechsar hamazeg, yechsar hamazeg. Sha'r'raych agan hasahar, yechsar hamazeg, yechsar hamazeg. Sha'r'raych agan hasahar, yechsar hamazeg. Sha'r'raych agan hasahar, yechsar hamazeg, yechsar hamazeg. Sha'r'raych agan hasahar, yechsar hamazeg, yechsar hamazeg. Sha'r'raych agan hasahar, yechsar hamazeg. Sha'r'raych agan hasahar, yechsar hamazeg, yechsar hamazeg. Sha'r'raych agan hasahar, yechsar hamazeg, yechsar hamazeg. Sha'r'raych agan hasahar, yechsar hamazeg. Let's see if we can breathe into our bellies. And feel the connection to the source. And just filling ourselves with the rhythm of life. And this, I think this deep understanding comes through the body rather than the head. Often when I'm teaching chant and I'm teaching these Jewish people about rhythm, and I want to say, no, it's not in your head. You can't learn it in your head. You have to learn it in your body. That's where the rhythm is. Out
it's
of
in
head,
out
into
of
body.
head into body.
Yes.
And enter into the song. I found this teaching from Osho, who is Rajneesh Osho, and he's talking about Sufis, and I think we're all Sufis here, right? He says Sufis sing; they don't give sermons, because life is more like a song and less like a sermon. And they dance, and they don't talk about dogmas, because a dance is more alive, more like existence, more like the birds singing in the trees and the wind passing through the pines, more like a waterfall or clouds raining or grass growing. The whole life is a dance, vibrating, throbbing with infinite life. Sufis like to dance. They are not interested in dogmas.
That's right.
Yeah. and so this kind of different way of knowing, of learning, and I this time that we're moving towards Tu B'Av, we're watching the moon grow full, and it's the fullness of the moon that that we want to fill up with that light, this light of that has this energy of love in it, of Tu B'Av. And Tu B'Av is the holiday not only of love but of reconciliation with God. The Midrash says that on Tisha B'Av for 40 years, the Tisha B'Av for 40 years, we would dig our graves in the wilderness and lie in our graves. And in the morning, the 15,000 people didn't wake up. And that's how the old one generation died before moving into the promised land. And we didn't know how long it would take. And one Tisha B'Av, we woke up and everybody woke up. Nobody died. And so there was this kind of like, oh, maybe we miscalculated. So they again slept in their grave again and again. Everybody woke up. And so they thought, oh, so they did that a few more nights, sleeping in their graves, waiting to die. And then on the night of the full moon on Tu B'Av, everyone looked up and knew that they hadn't miscalculated, that indeed they were reconciled to God, and the door to the promised land could be opened, and they could, everyone could come through. That we, so when we see that full moon, it is a full moon of reconciliation, of forgiveness, of self-forgiveness, and so the young women would borrow each other's clothes, their white clothes, and dance in the vineyards. So I want to do this one more chant about filling up with the joy of your presence. It's like being over the top, filling up. Not, we don't have to be stingy. We can just totally fill up with the joy of God's presence in that light of Tu B'Av.
And the full moon is 8:37 p.m. tomorrow night, Mountain Time. So we're building up like perfect on Shabbat.
Yeah. Julie texted me this this poem by Hafiz that I thought would be a perfect kind of inspiration for our practice. He says, I sometimes forget that I was created for joy. My mind is too busy, my heart is too heavy for me to remember that I have been called to dance, the sacred dance for life. I was created to smile, to love, to be lifted up, and lift others up. Oh, sacred one, untangle my feet from all that ensnares. Free my soul that we might dance, and that our dancing might be contagious.
Ooh. That's the kind of pandemic we want.
Right. And there's this dancing that we need to do, even though Nietzsche said those who were seen dancing were thought to be insane by those who could not hear the music. So we want to hear the music and allow it to move us in this dance of return and the dance of filling up. So let us turn towards all that nourishes us, all that delights us, and see if we can fill ourselves up. Sova, 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 smachot, Sova, 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 smachot, Sova, smachot, et panecha, Sova, smachot, et panecha, Sova, 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 smachot, Sova, 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 smachot, Sova, smachot, et panecha, Sova, smachot, et panecha. So I invite you to look around the Zoom room and see if we can fill up with the beauty of all of these faces. Sova, 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 smachot, Sova, 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 smachot, Sova, smachot, et panecha, Sova, smachot, et panecha, Sova, 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 smachot, Sova, 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 smachot, Sova, smachot, et panecha, Sova, smachot, et panecha. And once more. Sova, 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 smachot, Sova, 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 smachot, Sova, smachot, et panecha, Sova, smachot, et panecha. So I invite you just to close your eyes and enter into that fullness, knowing that that richness of God's presence is there always. and open up that pathway, that remembrance of that truth. And I am so grateful for this community of practice that we get to chant in the way, however we can together. But I will tell you, the chanting in person was way a trip.
It was full,
It was pretty,
rich.
pretty wonderful.
Yeah.
Oh, and I saw Jenny was here too, right? So